In the heart of South America, between the dense rainforests and the towering mountains, lies a legend that has fascinated explorers, treasure hunters, and storytellers for centuries. A city made entirely of gold, a place where buildings, temples, sidewalks, and even roads gleamed with pure gold. Even the utensils and furniture were said to be crafted from this precious metal. This was El Dorado, the legendary city of gold, a tale so intoxicating that it drove men to madness, shattered dreams, and, in many cases, ended lives. But what is the truth behind this fabled city? Where did the stories originate? Was it ever found? Or was it nothing more than a glittering mirage? Among the many myths surrounding El Dorado, one speaks of a hidden city named Manoa, buried deep within the unexplored Amazon rainforest. Legends claim Manoa was the capital of a prosperous and advanced civilization, where streets were paved with gold and buildings adorned with priceless jewels. But its wealth wasn't just material. Its people possessed profound knowledge, a deep understanding of the world, and an unmatched mastery of their environment. However, what's interesting is that El Dorado was never about a city, but rather a man. The story takes us to the Muisca people of present-day Colombia. They had an astonishing tradition. When a new ruler was crowned, he would cover himself from head to toe in shimmering gold dust. Climbing onto a ceremonial raft decorated with lavish ornaments, he would set sail across Lake Guatavita, carrying sacred golden offerings. As part of the ritual, the Muisca would cast gold and precious jewels into the lake, gifts meant to appease an underwater god. When Spanish explorers arrived in the early 16th century, they heard whispers of this golden ritual. To them, it was incomprehensible. Why would a people so willingly throw away vast riches? They called the Golden King El Dorado, the Golden One. But greed clouded their judgment, and they made one fatal assumption. If such wealth was being tossed into a lake, then surely there was more. A city overflowing, with gold waiting to be discovered. Tales of unimaginable riches spread like wildfire across Europe, igniting a frenzy. Thousands of desperate adventurers, from noblemen to mercenaries, set sail for the New World in search of El Dorado. They were men driven by greed, ambition, and often sheer desperation. Forming large expeditions, they hacked through dense jungles, scaled treacherous mountains, and braved unknown dangers, all in pursuit of a golden paradise that seemed just out of reach. But the legend of El Dorado became a curse. The conquistadors, believing the natives knew its location, unleashed untold horrors upon them. They stole food, made men carry their luggage, and tortured elders in a ruthless attempt to extract secrets. Soon, the indigenous people learned a clever trick. To escape the wrath of the invaders, they simply pointed them in another direction. El Dorado! Just a little further. Keep going. With each false lead, the myth grew, pushing explorers deeper into the unforgiving wilderness. Francisco Pizarro began the search for gold. His stories inspired many adventurers. One of the first major expeditions was led by Gonzalo Pizarro, his younger brother, in 1541. He and his men ventured into the Amazon, battling torrential rains, disease, and starvation. Many lives were lost, and in the end, Gonzalo returned empty-handed. But the fever for gold did not die. More explorers followed, each convinced that they were just one step away from uncovering the greatest treasure the world had ever seen. In 1537, Spanish explorer Gonzalo Jiménez de Quesada reached Lake Guatavita, where he confirmed that gold had indeed been thrown into its waters. In 1545, an attempt was made to drain the lake, revealing golden artifacts beneath the surface. In 1580, a businessman devised a plan to excavate it further. His efforts nearly drained the lake, but disaster struck when the excavation collapsed, killing many workers. Despite the tragedy, his team unearthed gold 3 times the amount discovered before, estimating that untold riches still lay beneath the lake's depths. The obsession with El Dorado spanned generations. Even the famed English explorer Sir Walter Raleigh embarked on a quest for it, leading expeditions through Venezuela and Brazil. The search continued through the 17th and 18th centuries, but it always ended the same way, empty-handed, with nothing but lost lives and shattered dreams left behind. Still, the legend refused to fade. In the 19th century, an English company drained almost the entire lake in yet another attempt to claim its riches. They retrieved artifacts, but their value barely exceeded £500 sterling. Some pieces ended up in the British Museum, while others were sold at auctions in London. By 1965, the Colombian government intervened, designating Lake Guatavita a protected area, forbidding any further attempts to extract gold from its waters. And yet, El Dorado lives on. Today, if you search a map, you'll find El Dorado not in a jungle, but as the name of multiple cities across the globe, in Venezuela, Mexico, Canada, and the United States. But no matter how many times El Dorado is written on a map, one thing is certain: none of them are paved with gold. Despite its absence from reality, the legend of El Dorado endures. It has inspired countless books, poems, and films. It remains a symbol of adventure, mystery, and the boundless human desire to chase the unattainable. Because even today, in the hearts of explorers, the dream of finding the city of gold still glimmers, waiting to be discovered.
The Bermuda Triangle, or the Devil's Triangle, is a mysterious area in the middle of the ocean where more ships and planes have disappeared than can be counted. Theories suggest aliens, giant sea monsters, or vortexes connected to another world, and even Atlantis. So what is behind that mysterious area?